There is a challenge every gardener and small-scale farmer faces: keeping crops alive during extreme heat. Heatwaves can scorch leaves, wilt plants, and dry out the soil faster than most traditional watering methods can compensate. Yet, for centuries, people across Europe, Asia and Africa have had ways to maintain soil moisture and protect their beds without modern irrigation or expensive equipment. These techniques are not theoretical. They were tested by survival, refined through generations, and passed down in homesteads, monasteries and family farms. When applied correctly, these ancient moisture hacks allow beds to survive prolonged heat, preserve nutrients, and ensure robust growth. Understanding them is like unlocking a secret that has sustained agriculture long before sprinklers and drip systems existed. This ancient moisture strategy is simple yet highly effective. It relies on understanding how soil retains water, how plants draw moisture, and how organic matter can act as a natural reservoir. You know, historical records show that when managed properly, these techniques allowed crops to thrive during some of the harshest summers, providing food security and maintaining soil fertility without modern chemicals. For anyone serious about gardening, survival, or sustainable farming, mastering this method truly transforms a struggling garden into a resilient ecosystem. The reason soil dries out faster than most people realize is, well, the problem is not just lack of water. It is actually the soil's inability to hold water long enough for plants to use it. Now, sandy soils, they drain rather rapidly, you know, while more compacted soils can actually prevent roots from accessing the moisture they need. High temperatures, well, they accelerate evaporation straight from the surface, and wind, it sweeps away water vapor, leaving plants stressed, even if you water them every single day. Ancient farmers, they noticed this sort of thing happening, and they observed that bare soil in their beds would often dry out within just a few hours under the heat. They discovered that by covering the soil or changing its structure, they could dramatically reduce evaporation and, well, improve water retention. This kind of insight was absolutely critical for survival in dry climates. Records from monastic gardens in medieval Europe, for example, show that composted organic layers were used not only to enrich the soil, but, importantly, to preserve precious moisture. In Asian rice paddies, straw and mulch were used to slow evaporation and keep young plants hydrated. Across continents, the principle remained the same: reduce exposure to the elements and enhance the soil's capacity to store water. The core of the technique involves three complementary strategies: mulching, soil layering, and targeted watering. Mulching with straw, leaves, or compost acts as a natural barrier between the sun and the soil, reducing evaporation and moderating temperature. Historical texts emphasize the importance of a thick, uniform layer to prevent cracking in hot soils. Soil layering involves mixing organic matter directly into the top several inches of soil. This increases the soil's ability to hold water like a sponge. In addition, ancient gardeners often built raised beds or ridges, which improved drainage while concentrating moisture around root zones. Targeted watering completes the strategy. Rather than soaking the surface indiscriminately, water was applied close to roots, sometimes through small channels or shallow ditches, a practice documented in Roman and Persian agriculture. This approach maximizes efficiency, ensures water reaches plants, and minimizes loss to evaporation. The combination of mulching, layering, and precise watering forms a simple, low-tech system that can maintain moisture through heat waves far longer than surface watering alone. Compost, manure, and straw are, well, more than just fertilizers. They're actually moisture regulators. When you incorporate them into the soil, they create a sort of network of tiny pores that, hold water and then release it gradually to the roots. Ancient farmers quite intuitively knew that a bed rich in organic matter would withstand heat better than bare soil. They noticed that even when temperatures really soared, crops on well-composted beds stayed turgid, while those in poorer soils, unfortunately, wilted. Modern science, interestingly, confirms this principle. Organic matter increases water retention, supports microbial life, and improves soil structure. By layering mulch or mixing compost into the topsoil, a gardener can, in effect, create a buffer against extreme temperatures, essentially giving plants a reservoir to draw from during stress. To apply this ancient moisture hack, you'll want to start by preparing your beds with a generous layer of compost or well-rotted manure mixed into the top several inches of soil. Then just cover the surface with straw, shredded leaves or grass clippings to form a mulch that's at least 2 to 3 inches thick. Water deeply and directly at the base of plants, rather than spraying the leaves, to make sure the roots access the moisture. For raised beds, you might want to consider shaping shallow channels or furrows to guide water toward the root zone. For smaller gardens, this method can be applied using a simple drip irrigation system combined with mulch, ensuring efficiency and minimal evaporation. On larger plots, layering organic matter and using shallow irrigation trenches can sustain crops through prolonged heat, just as historical farmers did. The key is observation. You see, it's all about monitoring soil moisture regularly, adjusting mulch thickness as needed, and replenishing organic matter to maintain its sponge-like properties. By following these centuries-old techniques, gardeners today can preserve soil moisture through the hottest weeks, protect crops from stress, and improve yields without relying on expensive technology or synthetic chemicals. This approach, it honours the ingenuity of ancient gardeners while providing a resilient, practical solution for modern challenges. If you found this guide valuable and want more practical, historically informed strategies for gardening, survival and sustainable agriculture, do consider subscribing to FamLab. Share this video with friends, neighbours and fellow enthusiasts who want to build gardens that thrive even under extreme conditions. By applying these time-tested techniques, we not only grow healthier plants, but also keep the wisdom of ancient gardeners alive for generations to come.